Fantastic. Welcome, guys, to episode 4 of Westworld Season 2, The Riddle of the Sphinx. And this was a good episode all the way through. This is like a mini episode 8, don't you think?
Oh, yeah. And it's like a extra 16 minutes of footage. It was like, yeah, they really went in on this one.
Yeah, they did. They did. How about you, Lou?
Hi, Daddy.
Well, that was the reveal at the end, which it didn't feel like a reveal to me. What was the reveal for me was just the whole play out of the Delos family. That whole breakdown of how the family has just withered away, and the search for immortality. I mean, like, I had that feeling that was it, and I'm glad that I saw it in this episode. How about you, Andrew? Sorry, yeah.
Yeah, I was kind of in the same boat because I'd actually binge Altered Carbon again before the season started. So and when we were trying to figure out the mysteries of what they were doing in there, part of me was like, I wonder if they're like downloading consciousness or something. I was like, nah, they're way too far from that. So it's like they're kind of pursuing that, even though they haven't had the breakthrough moment yet. So when I realized that was happening, like probably on the second time he went to him, I was like, oh shit, like this, they're doing this, like this is happening.
Yeah, it is. And you know what it is though? I think, but here's the awesome part of this whole, to me, the biggest reveal of the episode. You know what's going to happen? I'm going to call it right now. Episode 8, Ford is coming back.
I have a feeling too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Ford ain't dead.
Ford sends Bernard on his hit mission. Yep. And he basically built the chip that he needed for that. And with the flurries that he created, I think that code with the flurries that he created is the key to infusing that together.
I believe he used Delos as the guinea pig. He may have not known about it, but he knew about it. And he learned, because either Delos had it written in his will that he wanted to try immortality, or William was experimenting on him to probably do it for himself.
Well, I think William was doing it for himself. I don't think Delos knew. I think Delos was, remember, you hear the first conversation from Papa Delos, which I'll just call him, is the fact that he was sick and he thought he was there for treatment. And then later on, he goes, oh, I didn't survive, but I feel good. Okay, let's go. So I don't think that part was in his will. I just think he thought that, look, you know what, got enough money. And he said something interesting. He said, this is a project I shot down 10 years ago. Was it the park that he shot down or tried to shut down? No, or was it something else?
It was the disease research. Yeah, because like medical companies, they put a lot of funding into finding cures for things, and then like at the drop of a dime, they say, well, we can't make any money off this, so we're gonna like deprioritize this.
Yeah,
I think that was like the kind of like the comic joke for him is like, I defunded this, and what do you know? I actually have this disease and it's killing me.
Yep, exactly. All right, what about you, Lou? What stood out for you this episode besides the hi daddy at the end?
Bernard, laid the foot down. Bernard, the girl, dude, it's like everything is coming back full circle. We see how the Hemsworth brother, I guess, is set free.
Yeah, because that was Ford. Ford basically let him go. I mean, well, we know how it is. Ford has certain things that he's placed around in this game that he's playing.
And then you have, it's interesting timelines in this episode. That was what made it like, okay, we've got young William somewhat, and then the reveal, well, not a reveal, but the Men in Black comes to see him towards the end. The daughter is with the Hemsworth brother, but she finds a way to escape, leaving the Hemsworth like an idiot. But then he gets away, and then at the end, it's super present day because she beats up with her pops. I told you she had daddy issues.
Yeah.
She was looking for daddy attention. And what better way to do it than be in the park?
Yeah, I mean, she's like her dad. I mean, like the Delos, Papa Delos, his kids, those guys quit.
They don't quit. You got one who was a druggie who killed himself with drugs,
and the wife also killed herself
because her husband was never around. Her husband spent more time in the park doing Dolores.
Well, a lot of women would take that as a chance to go to find her own thing to do or person. And she went the other way to the complete opposite, just killed herself.
Yeah.
Yep.
Brandon J22 says, "You think Dolores shot a host Ford?" No, I don't think. I think that was Ford.
No, yeah, that was definitely Ford.
Because you saw the decaying body as well.
Yeah, the maggots were eating like human, like.
That doesn't happen to the host.
Yeah, if you notice, whenever we come across a dead host, we never see maggots eating it because they're not organic material. It's all synthetic stuff.
Yeah.
Remember back in season 1 when Bernard saw the machine making a host? Could that be Ford's body that it was making?
I mean, it could be. I mean, if that's the case, it could be that. But yeah, it was interesting that Elsie was the one that he didn't kill her. We thought that he had just capped her and that was it. Done.
I was disappointed by that. Like it was a strange feeling because at first I was excited, like, oh snap, he didn't kill her, she's still alive. And then after 10 minutes of seeing her on screen, I was like, I really hope she dies again this episode.
Yeah, but remember that's not present. But here's the thing, though: that whole scene with Elsie is still not up to the 2-week timeline.
Yeah, correct. Because
and we don't see her in 2-week timeline.
Yeah, and Bernard makes a point of that when he's yelling at her not to shoot the door. He goes, "I'm not really here with you, am I?" Because he's lost track of how to tell
exactly
between the present and a memory. So we don't know if this is we're seeing a recollection of it rather than seeing it unfold in real time.
Exactly, or in the timeline that we think it's supposed to be in. Yeah, exactly.
So as far as we know, what he's seeing is 10 minutes before they wake him up on the beach because it's not actually happening live.
Yeah. The only timelines we know that are correct are 2-week timeline, aka Ford daughter, Bernard meets everybody, and that aka Tessa Thompson again, and Dolores doing her campaign. No, Dolores her campaign. No, sorry, dead bodies in the water.
Yeah.
So timelines are a little off. Now I do like the fact that they're playing with the timelines and not as much as it was last year. I guess last year was confusing for a lot of people where it was, you weren't sure who was what character. This season we know, but they're using the timeline as a story element per se. So it's helping.
They established it well last season.
Mm-hmm.
They continue it this season, and it's this episode focused on William. This is more like a William-centric episode. Next week,
true.
And next week will be Tandy Newton's character.
Yeah, but what I liked about that whole idea about downloading consciousness was, I don't know how to even explain it. It felt like I was with them running the test. By the time I saw him the second time, I was like, okay, it's definitely human consciousness. So in my mind, I'm like, what is making it glitch? Why can't it last longer than, was it 7 days the second time or something like that?
Yeah, and then the final time it was 35 days, and it took them 20-something years to get that at 149 attempts, and it's basically what they call consciousness plateauing. Yeah. Basically, once your mind starts to recognize a certain thing, it's not truly your brain, it starts to shut down. It's it can't accept new information and life-altering information because you've been programmed to say, my wife is Marie, and my daughter is Julie. And then you find out Marie is dead, Julie killed herself. You're like, whoa, or you freak out. Kind of like a human shuts down when they find out someone they love has passed. But this is the extreme level where the brain literally will not process this new critical information.
That is true. But that's the thing is that if that actually works properly, say eventually works, you actually now have humans who, I guess not even humans anymore, right?
Sign me up.
Cyborgs who have higher capacity for intellectual expansion, because the brain they have will be able to store more, right?
Yeah.
And also do more. So, it becomes a point where, kind of like going back to Altered Carbon, but this is like the reverse. Most rich people will be like, forget it. I would just transfer over, live forever. I can't die. And I can probably get richer and smarter at the same time.
Yeah. And then you raise the questions like, they've been talking about humanity and like consciousness in the host. Well, now if you like download your consciousness into a new body, do you still have the same right you had before? Like, does your property get forfeited? Because you're a machine, technically, you're not a person. But your consciousness is there, though.
Exactly. But I think this episode does something very interesting. For the first season up to episode 3, it's all about the host being liberated, getting consciousness, becoming human. And this episode now gives us the absolute reverse, right? Where humans are becoming the host, in a sense, right? Artificial bodies. So, or you could say humans are meeting the host at the middle ground of saying that I am like you now. And I can always come back. Now, the question is, that location is not Glory. It's not where Ford wants to go to, right?
Yeah, I don't think so.
I don't think so. But I think that is part of what he was trying to get. Some of it. I'm just piecing. I don't know if that would be the case, though. But what do you think, Lou?
He sent Bernard there to make that, and then Bernard ordered to kill. So Ford knew about it. Ford figured out a way.
But he knew about it late, though. It's not like, I mean,
he may have known. See, look,
it's been on his property since they started Westworld. So he knew about it late, really late.
But see, the problem with it's not a problem. Ford was a genius when it came to program and learning. He probably somehow, some way, Arnold transferred his consciousness into Bernard.
I don't think so. I don't think that's
I don't think Arnold would willingly do that. I think it really was Ford missing him and doing it for sentimentality of like creating like a profile, not so much the actual consciousness.
Because Bernard does not think like Arnold, and he doesn't remember himself being Arnold. You know what I mean? Okay. Like he doesn't know himself as a person who's the co-creator of the park. You know, so he doesn't have that thought process in there. And again, you could tell that he was made to match Arnold's skills.
Yeah, and the important thing to remember is remember last year he was like obsessed with the death of his son. Yeah. Like this year, he doesn't even seem to care. It's almost as if Ford just went and deleted that from the profile. So I don't think it would be easy to delete that from the consciousness. He can just change the profile of his backstory.
Oh yeah, you can, because you saw what happened with Papa Delos, right? When old William was talking to him, he was getting agitated. He was still more of himself, the same old arrogance. Mm-hmm. Even though he was glitching, that part of himself was still there, you know. And you know, even though he said those lines at the very beginning, it still was a true representation of the man himself. You know, he just wants to go and plunder and take as much as he wants. That's his psyche, and that part didn't go away, glitch or no glitch. Even when he was crazy, even though he was off kilter at the end, he was still the same persona, I would say. So,
see, my question is, how did Homeboy get in there?
Who?
The new guy.
Well, the new guy was dumb. He probably went in. I don't know why. let's just call it what it is. He was just dumb.
But like I was saying, I guarantee you, Ford knew what was going on in that park. One way or another, he knew what went on. And the way I see it now is he sent Bernard in. Bernard knew about that other room on Ford's order. So that little trinket that they built is the key
Oh, that's a new microchip. That's a very different microchip.
That's going to be the key to most likely
so
Ford.
The ball is a microchip to bring Ford back.
I just realized something. What if it's not Ford? What if it's in Abernathy or whatever? And maybe that's why they're trying to smuggle it out. Maybe
no. So the code was uploaded into Abenaki, and that code is the new. Remember, I said Elsie said the OS is different. Mm-hmm. This is very different. It's for that research that we're trying to do to say how can we take someone's consciousness and put it into
okay.
That is the big reveal for Delos. That is what they want to sell. Imagine if you're a billionaire, or even if you're a millionaire, and they'll be charging 10 million plus upkeep fees of $1 million a year or something like that.
And then back it up to the cloud, so you're gonna charge extra
plus extra bodies as well that you have to pick up. So you're
as long as they ain't got Apple iCloud, we're good.
It would be like eventually it would be like Alter Carbon. You have your own secure backup with satellites and all that kind of stuff. But that's the idea with that. So I think Ford found that out, and Ford basically got Bernard to actually print the chip for him, and then because it's not a person who's going. She said it's for a human. Who would it be? It's going to be either Ford or Arnold. That's the only other person I can think of. But we've not seen any interaction with Arnold for us to care about Arnold that much in the last 2 seasons. So it's got to be Ford. That's the only person I can see who's coming back.
Now, what could William have that Dolores wants to get to?
I don't think Dolores knows exactly what she wants. I don't think Dolores. To me, I think Dolores is the villain of the season without a true purpose because she's not fully aware of what her purpose is.
Or could it be where Dolores is trying to get to is the actual exit of the park to get to the real world?
I don't know.
No, because
it's something. I could see William in his younger day showing her a true exit.
It's not a true exit. It doesn't really matter.
Because I think they already took over the control center, so they could have just went out the train like everyone else does.
Yeah, remember Tandy Newton was about to do that.
Yeah, I think there's something else. Something's like they keep talking about it metaphorically, and she called it a weapon last week.
Glory, the beyond, whatever.
Yeah, the valley beyond, it's like salvation for some people. There's something, I don't know what it is, but I don't think it's just an exit. I think there's something that's going to give her control or make it like when the cavalry comes in that they'll be able to control it, because I think Ford is still pulling the strings in all of this.
He is. I think he's pulling the strings all together.
He anticipated all the different ways that this game could go, and he did the ultimate choose your own adventure because everything still sends you back to where he wants you to be.
Yeah. The railroad, and he's like, we got to go to that little town. And then, of course, after he does the whole thing, the guy's daughter was like, I still know who you are. And he's like, I played the game. And he's like, she said something interesting. She said, if you're looking forward, you're looking the wrong way. You need to look into the past. So it's something that either he's done himself, aka the Man in Black William, or Ford has done, or they both know what it is, and he just can't remember.
Look into the past. You try to create your father-in-law's immortality. That could be it.
No, it wasn't. I mean, yeah, that part was not for his father-in-law. I don't think he cared that much for. But
it may have not been that he was trying to do it, but his father-in-law was the key.
And his father-in-law was a good guinea pig for it. That was
guinea pig, however you want to look at it. But that could be look to the past. All the scenes we've got of William this episode were from the past, dealing with trying to make his father-in-law immortal.
No, I do agree. But I think that line is not referring to that because we've already seen that happen. That line happened towards the end of the episode, so we've already seen all that happen. I think it's something else that has to do with maybe part of that immortality process that they were trying to do. But I think it's not exactly what we saw. I think it's something else that plays into that. I think
have to wait till episode 8.
This may be semi-related, but what did you guys make of that thing that the father-in-law kept saying? He said, like, if you aim to cheat the devil, you owe him at least an offering. And I think the devil was just obviously like a replacement for death. So it's like, if you're trying to cheat death, like you got to give him something, or like the devil was like, I couldn't make out what that was referring to.
I don't know. I thought about it for a bit, but I was like, maybe it's just a phrase that he used to say a lot. You know, because that's the kind of guy who would say those kind of phrases.
That could be a phrase that comes back to unfold towards the end of the season.
Yeah, I mean, it could be, or it could be nothing. It's just one of those where, or maybe it's just also a phrase that's false to the audience that says, this is a world about immortalities and fantasies and escapism in some form, and you always pay a price for that at some point.
Oh, okay.
You know, it could be that too, or it could be nothing, it could be that, or it could be a code towards, like, you know, whatever happens. So, I mean, it's a whole mix. Anything else in the episode?
The fact that they were using, I don't know if those were hosts or humans as the part of the train track.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I just let that scene pass by.
I think they were humans.
I just let that scene.
They were like begging for their life.
Yeah, but hosts also beg for their lives too, right?
Yeah, but like
if they're programmed to.
We haven't really seen the hosts turning on each other as much as they've all been searching for humans. Like every episode is a fresh batch of humans that are like being abducted and either getting killed or used as like bait and stuff. So I kind of got the feeling that those were like humans that were being like tied to the tracks. Or
but it also makes sense too. The Native American hosts didn't kill anyone. Mm-hmm. Remember, even what's his name said it, because those are the ones that were controlled by Ford. I think Ford didn't want whatever. I think he didn't want maybe the Native Americans to do that, or at least in this scenario case. But I mean, I don't know. I think it would be interesting. I know next week we have it's all in
Shogun World.
Shogun World, and it's all about. I think Tani New's character is getting better self-aware than was it Dolores. Dolores to me is just off, very off.
Yeah, Dolores is on a one-track program. Like, somebody put a setting in her code.
We can't say Dolores is on a one-track. Tandy Newton has had her whole programming redone. Dolores hasn't.
No, but that's to say, but Tandy Newton has logic. She actually weighs situations, and then not saying that Dolores can't, but I'm saying she looks at it from more angles possible, and she adds in things. Meanwhile, Dolores's computation is whatever is fitting this one goal here, and that's it.
Everything just means
she has a one-track mind.
Yeah, especially when Cyclops decided to have his own thought for once, and then she was just like, I'm gonna have to kill him. That was literally the face that she put up. She's like, I'm gonna just have to take him out, and then that'll be it, done. So I guess you're right. Next week is all Shogun World. There might be something else, but most likely it'll be mostly there.
You might get a little snippet at another part, but it looked like it's gonna be Shogun, and folks, prepare to read, because even the trailer had you reading.
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah, of course. I do like I would give them this, especially with production quality. I mean, it looks the Shogun World looks tight. Then they have some really solid Japanese actors as well. They didn't even skip, it wasn't like they were like, all right, like how other shows would go, like, okay, we'll try and get maybe like two actors, or something like that.
They'll get some like whatever guy, then they'll get like some Korean dude, then teach him Japanese or something.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
They're like, no, we're gonna go and get like A-list Japanese actors for like one episode of this TV show.
Sure, yeah, no, right. So yeah, I think that was cool. That was cool to see that. But anything else before we we round up the show?
I ain't got nothing.
Yeah, I just want to say, like, this is the first time. Like last year, it was all about figuring out what the hell is going on and like getting to stuff. This year, like, I just accepted that I'm lost and just enjoying like things just happening and then trying to figure it out. And I like the way of watching it this way rather than every second trying to analyze and saying, now what does this mean? Oh, this means it's going to lead to this and this and this. It's just like fun to just watch something and get a big reveal and then think about it when the episode is done. Like I suggest everyone like watch it that way this year. Most people probably already did, but like my mind just wouldn't work that way last year.
Yeah, I mean, no, I do agree. I mean, last year, no,
I don't think it let you work that way last season.
Last year was not built that way. I think last year, you're right. Last year, we were told you need to pay attention. You know, like this is class. So that made a lot of sense. This year, because we know that they can't repeat what they did last year. There was just no way to do that.
But they kind of are repeating it with the multiple timelines. But I think they got a better grasp on it this season.
Well, the multiple timelines is more driving the story, not last year was to confuse us.
Mm-hmm.
This one is to tell us a story.
Yeah.
Because last year was, remember, for half the season, did you even know it was William? I mean, like, we're like, it's William. Nah, it's not William. It could be, I mean, like, Man in Black is not William. It could be something else. Like, people were having that discussion for like half the show.
That's what the whole discussion really was.
Yeah.
Who's the Man in Black and then who's
this? Yeah, no, but that's true though. Yeah. Half of the show discussion last year was who's the Man in Black. And then Bernard becomes like a host and everybody was like, didn't see that one coming, So I think
the reveal of Bernard being the host was mind blown.
Yeah, that was still one of the
what?
Best reveals out there. And Ford is evil though. I mean, like he also killed that woman. Like Ford is not a nice individual.
Dude, Anthony Hopkins is good at this, bro.
I mean, come on, Silence of the Lambs.
That's right. Hannibal Lecter himself.
You can't let Hannibal Lecter build machines, man. It's not cool. Not cool. But anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching. And also, if you have any comments, definitely leave them. Let me see. Oh, it's a few comments here. Becca Brotum says the Native American definitely have their own agenda. I mean, I think it's all just part of Ford's story. What do you guys think?
Oh yeah,
I think they're going to come back to play a bigger part later in one of the episodes with Tandy Newton.
Yeah. Because I think so far I don't know if we've seen it anywhere else, but the Native Americans are the first hosts who don't listen to Tandy Newton. And there has to be a reason why she's unable to override their programming. There's got to be something else going on there.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
That could be the fact. That could be Ford at play.
Yeah, that's because Ford has got to be like administrative privileges or something.
No, at Ford's administrative.
Where she can't override that. So like she's just a moderator or something. So
yeah,
she don't have administrative access.
So if any of you guys knew like Windows, especially like Windows 7, Windows 8, you could do Windows God mode. That gives you like full admin access. Like you can go into administrator, but then there's God mode where you can go like and have it as a folder on your desktop, and just gives you all this access. That's pretty much what Ford has. Like he just has that like here, and everybody's still like here in terms of access.
He whispered something into Dolores, and then she shot him.
Yeah,
he activated something in her consciousness with that whisper.
Yeah,
and that's what's got her on that tear now.
Yeah, and she thinks she's liberated. I think she's partially there. She's not fully there. And I think Ford did that because he's already downloaded his consciousness, and he's like,
dude,
I'm good to go. So episode 8, man.
That's going to be the reveal. It has to be.
Definitely.
He's going to see, they're keeping it quiet. They've made it seem like he's not back for season 2, but watch him come back episode 8 or episode 10 and be like, I'm back.
Yeah.
I psyched you guys all out.
It'll be good. It'll be good to see that. And then we'll have to wait to 2020 or so, something like that.
And Tessa Thompson is going to be like, what?
All right, guys. Thank you very much again. Don't forget to like and share. Check out Andrew Cam on Twitter. It is Andrew Cam, K-A-M. Follow him on Twitter there, as well as also Board Buddha, Lou's handle. Right. And myself is just Board at Work. So thank you very much, and always enjoy entertainment.
And look